Hello and welcome. My name is Deji Nehan. I'm a regulated mortgage advisor and financial planner. Thank you for watching my videos. If you're just watching me for today, it's your first time, please take some time to subscribe to my button so that I can show you more videos. You can watch my other videos and they would enlighten you. I would love to talk about mortgages, financial planning, and how you can better increase your chances of making your wealth and living the life you want to be. Today's topic, I'll be talking about credit reports. How do you, the biggest thing that you need to be aware of if you're trying to get a mortgage or you want to get something very significant in terms of any types of financial services, it's that the banks or the lending companies will look at, why do they look at them? An indication of how you have conducted your past financial life, and they use that to predict what you're going to do. And most likely you will be aware that there is something called a credit score, and that would give you the different category of what the lenders would apply their mortgage criteria to. So it's quite an important thing, and today I'll be sharing 17 key and quick effective things you need to do to ensure that you put yourself in an unfair advantage to get the mortgage you want at the best rate possible. So the first one really is, I would say, you need to get access to your credit report. There are three or so agencies you can use: Equifax credit report, and there is my credit file as well. You need to have access to this. Some of you can pay monthly, but even if you can get access for the first month, some would allow you to have free access for a month, but it is what the price you pay for it. It would help you to be able to monitor your credit report on an ongoing basis. The other thing, when you have your credit report, is your voters register. You want to be sure that you are registered on the voters roll. That's quite an important thing. Very, very important. Most times people move houses and they don't update their voters register. That's quite an important thing. Number three is really, you need to update all your addresses. I've worked with clients where they've moved for 5 years and they've not updated maybe their driver license or something, and you wonder, but that's true. So you need to check that your addresses are all up to date. And with the credit report, you can actually check if there is check if you have an unauthorized entry. So maybe there's something you are not aware of that is on your credit card. That's your number 4 thing to check. Check if there's an unauthorized thing. If you definitely find one, I would say your number 5 thing to do is to challenge that entry. If it's something you are not aware of, they would allow you to challenge that entry, either through the credit agency or they ask you to speak with the provider and you'll be able to challenge that. If for any reason the agency does not agree to remove that entry, you can ask them to include your own reason on that as well, so that you have your own story to back up why that might be the case, so that in the future when anybody is looking at that, they could see that you have an explanation to that. So that's quite a useful thing. Number 7 is really check on if you have a cipher. Cipher is a very serious thing. It's what will be registered against you if you have maybe a credit if you have a criminal record in the UK, and that's quite an important thing. You want to check that on your credit report there is no ciphers entry, and that's SIFAS. Check that you don't have any ciphers entry. Number 8 really is, make sure if you don't have a credit card. Like I said in the beginning, your credit history is a prediction of what you will do in the future. So if you don't have a credit card or any credit at all, I would say get one credit card so that you can start building your credit profile. That's quite an important thing. I would explain what you could do around that if you don't want to spend credit, but I would say to have a credit history in the UK, you need to get at least one credit card, and that will start building your credit profile for you. Number 9 is really it. Either you're getting a credit card or maybe you're doing I would say avoid having multiple applications on your credit file. And how could you do that? You could use the services of some aggregators or comparison sites that will give you an indication of what loan or what credit card you might be able to get before actually applying. So it gives you a good indication if they might be able to take you on and stuff. And I believe some of the credit report agency, they allow you to do that as a free service. So that's quite a useful thing. So that would avoid you applying so many times. Number 10 thing I want you to check is, do not apply for mortgage and do not apply for any credit if you are close to applying for your mortgage application. The reason for that is mortgage lenders don't like seeing too many credit checks on you. So if you're about to apply for a mortgage, I would say leave the slate clean for some time so that you have enough time before your last credit check. So that's quite an important thing, and that would really make a difference in terms of what you get. Number 11 really is always pay in full, or you at least pay the minimum required, and ensure that you put that in a direct debit so that you don't forget that. So like I said, if you don't have a credit card before, get one to build your credit, but the best thing to do is to ensure you are paying in full, or you are paying at least the minimum. That's quite an important thing. That shows that you are managing and you are complying with the credit that you get. Number 12 is really show an evidence of stability. And how do you do that? You want to avoid going into your overdraft, because lenders would see, if you're wanting to get a mortgage, that how much overdraft do you want and how often do you use that. So if you can show a lot of stability by not going into your overdraft, that would give them a better indication of your dealings. The other things you can do to actually ensure your stability is to make sure you have emergency funds that is set aside, and that's quite a good thing. It helps you to do your budgeting. So stability is a good thing, is a good factor if you want to get the best advantage in getting your mortgage. So number 13 is if you have any default that's been registered against you. I know it takes about 6 years before you could clear that, but some lenders will take a view differently if you agree or if you have settled the default previously. So number 13 is make sure you settle your default if you have any against you. Number 14, if you have an unused credit card. I know a lot of people take credit facility because the banks just say you can now have this and stuff. But if you are not using it, the question is not usually in your best interest. So let's say some people might have 20, 30 grand of unused credit card and they don't use it. So sometimes it's not in your best interest. So it might be worth you canceling the unused credit card. The fear for some might be, oh, maybe when I need it, I might not be able to get access to it. But if your credit card is good, if your credit rating is good, I'm sure you wouldn't have a problem with that. But if you don't use it, maybe that's an indication that you don't actually need it. So yeah, I would say maybe you need to cancel that. Number 15 is, all I've said, it's very relevant, but if you have a joint relationship, I would say you need to monitor that as well. And this applies, everything I've said from 1 to 14 applies to the same thing. So ensure that as you're checking yours, any joint relationship that you have, maybe you have a joint account, a joint credit card, a joint loan, whatever that is, make sure that you are checking that everything I've said, you can have a checklist on that as well. So that's quite a useful thing. And that's something a lot of people forget. So your joint relationship would affect your credit score. So that's quite an important thing. Number 16 is make sure you have a traceable house deposit fund. A lot of people come to the end of wanting to get a mortgage, then they ask for the fund for the deposit, and then it's nowhere, or they are just getting it from maybe their friends, their uncles or something. So I would say at least 3 months or 6 months before, make sure you have your house deposit fund traceable, that either you have saved up or you have been gifted by someone, but at least you have access to that for a while and it's showing in your credit score. Number 17, and the last one is make sure you have a traceable income. That's quite an important thing, because your credit report, your credit would show an indication of the income you're getting in. I know some people might have different incomes coming in weekly, but if you could show that regularity over time, that would be shown in your report. So that's quite an important thing. Make sure it's a traceable and it's a regular income, a regular pattern. it doesn't matter if it's different amounts at different time, but it is known that maybe every 2 weeks an income comes in, and this is the bulk line figure of that. That would go a long way for a lender to be able to predict what sort of credit position you have. So thank you for watching. The 17 points I've given, you can use that as a checklist to ensure that you can get the best mortgage possible, and you put yourself in a unfair advantage, because if you can check at least all of these checkpoints, that means that the level of interest rate you get would be significantly lower compared to someone that's not taking time on their credit report. So this might look like quite a lot, but if you take a look, it's quite a quick fix that you can do for some of them. So I would advise, just take some time, at least make sure you have your credit report, and that will take you through most of the things anyway. So if you have any question about how to make your credit score better, to get the best mortgage possible, to get the right and the best interest rate possible for you, then you can speak to me, because a percentage change in interest rate over 2 years or 5 years could go a long way to save you a lot of money. So if you're really keen about saving your money and getting the best interest rate possible for your mortgage, these are steps you can take. They are quick and simple 17 steps, 17 things you could do. And I hope you would go ahead and do that. Thank you for watching. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please subscribe. Give me your comments or give me a like. I'll share more videos. If you have any questions you want me to make a video on, please let me know, and I'm happy to make a question on that. If you want to have a chat about your own financial situation, I am happy to take your call as well. As you would know, this is not an advice. This is general tips, and this does not apply to everybody. So for your own specific situation, it will be different from the next person. So you need to take advice. So that you need to take serious. Again, as a roundup, your credit profile, your credit score is your responsibility. And these are 17 things you can do to improve your credit score, to improve the chances of getting the best credit, the best interest rate available for you, either on your mortgage, either on your credit card, either on your loan. This will go a long way. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in other videos. Please subscribe.